So we're here at Runaway Bay Cricket Club in the Gold Coast of Australia, the 2018 Australian Champs Final. We've got Enjoy the Ment from Sydney out in the field, Ocean 12 from Sydney batting, having won the toss. And welcome to Travis Harker, President of Runaway Bay Cricket Club.
Welcome, Rob. Thank you.
So bowling from the northern end first, we have Sean Lawrence. Solid start into the offside there for Ocean 12. So it's been a great tournament in the last few days. Major upset with the loss of Rock Lobsters, last year's champions, who went out to Bomb Squad. And we're looking at having a State of Origin final here, Travis, between New South Wales and Queensland, with the other semi-final between tradies you can't trust, the local guys, and second 11 from Ipswich.
Yeah.
That's almost a run out there, second ball. Urgent running from Ocean 12, but also a bit of confusion there. So, tradies you can't trust, your team. We'll come on to them later. But Travis, what are your thoughts on this game?
The I've just had a mind blank. Put me on the spot, Rob. The Oceans 12 boys, everyone knows they're pretty class hitters, so it's just a matter of if they can contain those guys.
That's it. They all go very hard. The Ocean 12 team.
So I think that early days, just see how the pitch plays early, and then I think they'll move from there. Figure out which way the best way to attack is. They've got the wind at the moment. It's whether or not they try and cash in early.
That's it. So the wind coming into the bowler at the moment. So Ocean 12 will be looking to go big in these first 10 overs before the switch of ends. That's what they've done straight up, and that's well over mid-wicket. A good early hit there. That's Sugi Jeevan going hard early, moves to 7 off 2 balls.
Well, that sort of just answered my question, didn't it?
Absolutely. There you go. They'll be targeting the mid-wicket and long-on boundaries in the first 10 overs, that's for sure. So Ocean 12 are the 2016 champions 2 years ago here at Runaway Bay. Won a very dramatic final there against Rock Lobsters. That was a classic game, Trav.
That was a cracker of a game. Right down to the wire. That was LMS classic.
So Sean Lorenz looking to bounce back end of his first over. Goes big end, but he hasn't quite got enough of it. This is Vivek Thakkar underneath it, takes it safely, throws it back in for the double play, but non-striker safely back, and that's a big early wicket there for Enjoy the Ment from Sydney. There we go, Trav.
Very casual, very good catch. Good signs, good start.
He's a good young player, that Nandagam. Took a hat-trick on this field yesterday for Enjoy the Ment, which helped knock off Bomb Squad, who'd taken out the national champions in the previous round. So he's a player on form, that's for sure. And that's the end of the first over. So great end to the first over. Sugi Jeevan going at it hard with that 6, but then holding out to the deep. 10 for 1 after the first over. Now we're looking at a big Brad McGrath coming on to bowl. Real institution in Australian LMS, Brad McGrath. He's been here at Nationals many years, different sides over the years. It's a bit of an amalgamation of sides, this one, Travis. Enjoy the Ment. There's guys that have played here with Wombats, played here with Old Iraq. Who else have we got? Punjab 11. It's almost a all-star side that Gus Sloan has built over the last year and a half, so very, very good chance for the title, that's for sure. There's a lot of LMS experience in this Enjoy the Ment side.
Are they a bowling side, Rob, or a batting side?
They're extremely well balanced. Ocean 12 go hard at it. They bat right down to number 8, but they'll all be having a real go, while Enjoy the Ment, I guess, well, if you could define them more as proper cricketers.
Yep.
Build the innings. Brad McGrath, the guy currently bowling, he'll be one of their biggest hitters, but they've got some real class in their lineup.
He looks to be bowling pretty well, actually. He's just got a nice little bit of shape on the ball, just coming into the batsman.
It's always been one of his strengths, his ability to swing the ball early. McGrath. So early pressure on Ocean 12 here after losing Sugi Jeevan for 7 runs in the first over. Looking to rebuild. They've got Donald Reddell is the number 3 batsman who's come to the crease. So Brad McGrath bowling his second over of this match, the Australian Championships final, semi-final. Just a single there to square leg. Oh, they're coming back for 2. It's going to be tight. Bit of a fumble, but very important to get the 2s in on this field, Trav.
That's the difference between winning and losing the game sometimes on this ground. You've got to run the first one hard, put them under pressure. And usually, it is a reasonably big ground, and obviously with only a couple of fielders on each side, it's very easy to get 2s.
Interesting shot there. Danny Batcher, the keeper, throws down towards bowler's end. Interesting shot there from Donald Reddell. Didn't quite come off. I think he was looking for a ramp or something and then just got in the wrong position. So that's the end of the second over there, 16 for 1.
What I find, Rob, when the LMS games are here, is the guys that play the better cricket shots actually do a lot better.
How quick's the outfield been the last couple of days? Trav, you played a couple of games on it.
It's usually pretty quick. It's just had a fresh mow this morning, so it should get quicker as the day goes on.
Third over to be bowled by Mick Weir for Enjoy the Ment. Left arm over the wicket.
That's exactly what I was just talking about with cricket shots. He's just lifted his head there, tried to hit it to the heavens.
Absolutely, they're all going to go hard at it. Ocean 12, that's always been their tactics in LMS. They've got a good tight bowling side, but they'll definitely be after a score close to 200 here today, which can go either way if you have that attitude, as we've occasionally seen in the past with them. When they do go down, they sometimes go down pretty quick. They're not going to die trying, that's for sure. Into the offside there. They run the first one hard, but it'll just be the single.
I really like the tactic by Enjoyment here, using the left-hander against probably the bigger hitters of the Ocean 12 boys. They're actually got to come across it. He's keeping it out of their arc when they're trying to hit the cow corner. It's actually a good tactic.
Absolutely. Well, they've already cleared cow corner once in the first over. Go for it again. That's got hold of that. That's a good hit there. Gave himself a bit of room, moved across the stumps. And that'll settle a few nerves in the Ocean 12 camp. Donald Reddell getting going, moves on to 11 off 6 with that maximum.
Bowler just made me out to be an idiot. He just bowled one in his arc and just got dispatched.
I'd be disappointed with himself there, Mick Weir. Last ball of the over, another very experienced LMS player, Weir. Thick outside edge there, runs away down to the vacant third man region. There you go, back for 3, and that's terrific running there from Ocean 12. Just the urgency there, Trav. The speed that they ran that first run really opened up the opportunity there.
Hang on, I think there's been a short run call.
There you go, so short run, bit of they'll upset the batsman after that effort, but very experienced umpires out there today. We've got Warren O'Rourke from Newcastle in New South Wales and Srikanth Nandagam from Sydney. Between them, they've umpired over 1,000 games of last man stands, so a lot of experience out there. 3 overs gone now, scored 26 for 1, so pretty even Stevens after the first 3 overs, I'd say, Trav.
It's a good start for both teams. Ocean's 12 only losing 1 wicket. Still got a few runs on the board. Enjoyment have kept them. They've only hit a couple of boundaries or a couple of sixes, so they're holding them at bay at the moment.
There's Sean Lorenz, the opening bowler, back on to bowl the 4th over to Siva Palan. Side off, cut shot, they'll only get the one there. So Ocean 12, we've discussed their story many times in the past, but for those of you not in the know, they're a terrific cricketing story. Came through a project at Villawood Detention Centre of involving Tamil asylum seekers, and over time received support from refugee resettlement agencies and built a cricket club called Ocean 12, and eventually become the national champions of Australia in last man stands in 2016. So a terrific sporting story.
Really good story too. Really good story.
Out to the deep there for the single, so ticking along.
Bowled.
So there's a new concept getting going in Last Man Stands this summer, which we're all very excited about, called the Super Series. So it'll be launching in Sydney. So it's an IPL style draft competition, Trav. So
exciting.
Just out to deep there for a single. So it's a whole new concept. So basically what's going to happen just over one long weekend, it's going to be a short, sharp tournament involving franchise teams, as we're calling them. So there's different franchise regions around Sydney that have been offered up, from Illawarra up to Newcastle, Central Coast and across Sydney. What's going to happen is just look at that, that's another big six there behind square. So Ocean 12 showing their intent.
On the roof of the Runaway Bay clubhouse. That one might not be coming back.
That is a very big hit there from Donald Redaway. He's really getting going here. 20 off 9 balls. Ball stuck on the roof, so we're looking for a new ball early here, I would have thought, unless young Trigger.
You can see it stuck on the gutter there. There's someone about to climb up on a chair, I think.
So just while we got the break in play there, that's the end of the 4th over, 35 for 1. So talking a bit more about this Super Series, the top ranked 140 players across that region, broken down to bowlers, batsmen and all-rounders, have been invited to join the draft. And across the 6 teams there'll be 60 players picked up at a IPL style draft tonight in Sydney. So it's very exciting for everyone to have all the best players being picked up to play across different teams over one weekend.
That sounds pretty exciting if you're an LMS player, especially if you're one of those guys in the top 140. Good concept. Who do you think the teams will be? Have you got the captains or?
So what's happened is different guys basically buy each franchise team.
Yep.
And so there's the Illawarra team, for example.
Yep.
Has been bought up by a guy down in the Kiama region. And most of the guys buying the team so far have, 3 of the 6 teams have been sold so far. They're all last man stands players.
Excellent.
So they're basically just loving the concept, and they're going to go to the draft night, and obviously they'll have an idea in mind, I would have thought, of which players they want to pick up, the guys that they rate in the competition. So it's going to go around in a draft style system.
Who will be the first player picked?
I think this man bowling here, Brad McGrath, would be one of the early picks, that's for sure. He's such a gun all-rounder, well known across all the teams, and I think that's going to be important. You know, guys being known. These guys that come to nationals regularly, that go to world championships, they're going to be the early picks, that's for sure. And then what happens is the winning team will get $15,000 and a spot in the world championships in Sydney next year. So
awesome.
It's a big prize for them.
That is a big prize.
Outside off, it comes in. That was almost a terrific catch there, but it goes through him and almost the boundary. But Brad McGrath,
good effort. Had to attack it. Had to take a chance.
So here we go. It's now 4.3 overs. Trav scores 38 for 1. So still Still fairly even, Stevens. Brad McGraw comes in, and that's the corn bowl. That's a big wicket. Enjoy, man. Move forward quickly there, the big man. And that is a massive wicket. Donald Reddall, who's really one of the guns for Ocean 12, was looking really good there after 2 early sixes. Goes for 22 off 12. Very important wicket there, Trav.
He was looking big. He was trying to get that one big. It just skidded onto him and just tied him up a little bit and just spooned it back to the bowler. Good catch by the big man, diving forward.
Absolutely important catch there. So they've started well here. Enjoy the Ment. They've been under pressure with Ocean 12 going at them hard and hitting 3 early sixes, but despite that onslaught, they've taken 2 important early wickets. And we have number 4 for Ocean 12 coming in now is Satish Siva. So the opener, Siva Parlin, is still in. 8 off 9 balls. Number 4 coming in. Brad McGraw, 1 ball left in his over. You can see the excitement throughout the Enjoy the Ment team there. They knew that was a big wicket. These teams both know each other very well. They both play out in the western and northwestern Sydney region, so they've come across each other multiple times, and they'll all know how important a wicket Donald Reddall was there.
Are they rivals, Rob? Do they like each other?
Yeah, they get on well, these two teams. They come across each other a lot, across different sides. But I know that a lot of these Enjoy the Ment team were big supporters of the whole project in the first place, and it's great to see how things like that can bring together guys from different backgrounds and all in the name of cricket and sport. There we go. We've got Mick Weir coming back on to bowl again, the left arm bowler. There's a lot of bowling throughout this Enjoy the Ment side, so they're not short of options, that's for sure. Goes big again out to a deep mid wicket. That'll just be the single though, doesn't quite get hold of it. So we've got a bit of Bob Marley playing in the background here, Trav. It's a very social, fun cricket club, Runaway Bay Cricket Club. Can you say a few words about the club and your involvement?
Yeah, Rob. Unfortunately, I am the president, which means I've got a little bit of work to do each week, and especially this week with the LMS Aussie champs in town. But that's the whole idea of a cricket club is that's what it's for, social, fun times. If you can build an establishment around that, usually the good cricketers turn up, and that's what it's all about. Obviously everyone tries to play a few games and hard games of cricket, and but we sort of base ourselves on, because we are only country cricket at the end of the day, we still base our club on social good times.
That's what it's all about. Keeps everyone involved, and it's a great atmosphere here, and I know that all the teams from across Australia love coming here each year. It's the just goes big there, just dot balls. So good comeback there from Mick Weir off that previous boundary. But I'd say it's now the 7th tournament we've had here for Last Man Stands, Trav, I think. So it's
all these tournaments become a blur for me, Rob. I have no idea.
I think that's certainly a blur for all the attendees as well.
It sums it up. If the LMS guys keep coming back here, that means we're doing a good job. And realistically, from day to day, you don't see too many unhappy faces running around the place. There's always good food, there's decent coffee here, and the fridges are cold.
Absolutely. Excellent cook, your wife there, Trav.
You've only got to have a look at my physique and that'll answer the question, Rob. No, she's excellent. She's well known for her schnitzel burgers, and the bacon and egg rolls are slowly catching up to that. They're just, it's always a smile on the face in there, and food's brilliant.
Absolutely is. So we're now almost at the end of the 6th over. Scores 46 for 2 with 1 ball left in the 6th over. Mick Weir bowling.
I think Enjoyment can pick up a couple more wickets in the first 10. They're going to be right on top of these guys.
Absolutely. early pressure, but we've seen so many times over the years with Ocean 12 how deep they bat. Over at, I think he's probably going to be coming in next, the man in the blue pads, Trav. Well, he won't be. I think he'll be in next. Suvaka Sanathapile. He's definitely their biggest hitter. So
Right, okay.
He'll be a big factor in this game if they can get him early when he comes in. But
Big wicket.
it's not looking like he'll be hitting too much with the wind at the moment. But the wind just seems to have died down a little bit here.
Yeah, I reckon it might be right up this afternoon for the final. I think the final this afternoon, with all the 4 teams that are left in it, it's going to be some exciting hitting with the wind.
So a new bowler here is Vivek Nandagam, who took the first wicket down deep long on. He's the man that got the hat-trick yesterday, Trav, so you want to watch out for.
It was actually unbelievable yesterday with 2 hat-tricks out here. It doesn't happen very often, especially in LMS.
Absolutely, and this man's hat-trick were all clean bowled as well, which are all the more impressive. It's wide outside off stump there. Wide outside off.
Nearly to hand, that one.
Absolutely.
You can see there's a little bit of pressure mounting on the Oceans 12 here. They know they've got to get after it. He's got the bowlers just bowling in tight areas, finding that 4th and 5th stump line.
Side off there. Good bowling here from Vivek Thakkar.
Pretty hard to hit the ball when your head's looking upwards.
Not like your classy technique, Trev.
No. My head's too heavy to lift it up.
So it's the 7th over now in the Australian Championships semi-final. Goes down to the boundary, behind square, so relieves a bit of pressure there for Ocean 12, and that takes them past the 50 mark, 52 for 2 after 6.4 overs.
That was a gift. Full toss, leg stump. Don't even really have to even try to hit that to get a boundary. Good shot.
So Vivek Nandagam coming in to end the 7th over.
That's a better line. That's a better length.
Absolutely. Good tight ball outside off stump. Brings to an end 7th over, 52 for 2. The opener, Siva Palan, 16 off 16 balls, and Satish Siva, number 4 batsman, 6 off 6. What do you think? So, with these conditions, Trav, this morning, what's the, not what Ocean 12 would go for, but what do you say the par score is here?
I think par's somewhere between 140 and 160. Anything over those two can be hard to chase, especially on the turf. Some of the teams have learned to just take the pace off the ball, and it can be hard to hit. You actually have to force it. I think the main key is just trying to keep the batting team under 100 runs with the wind. And then you can sort of control them just because they can't hit the sixes from into the wind. So it's really hard. There's been a couple of big scores out here, but a majority of the week it's been somewhere between 140 and about 160.
So you'd say at the moment Ocean 12 are well on track for that, with a good deal of batting to come. Sean Lawrence bowling the 8th over, his 3rd.
Seems to be a hold up in play. I think there's a fielder down at the moment. It looks like he's hurt his leg.
Absolutely, that's
Maybe.
a major concern there. Who have we got over there? It's Danny Batcher, is it? So just slight break in play here. know that Enjoy the Ment came into this game with 9 players. We weren't sure who to leave out.
Who was the unlucky bloke that got left out?
It's a very good question, Trav.
Right, okay.
Having a look around, it's the Abhijit, I think.
Right, okay.
Danny Batra is the keeper, I think. So,
but it's not a bad thing to bring a couple of extra players up here. It is a long tournament, 4 days. Can take its toll on the body if you've got a few old blokes out there.
Absolutely, it takes its toll on the body, that's for sure. There's looked like a lot of broken cricketers around the cricket club yesterday, but I'll say it's due to a lot of the excesses off the field down at Surfers Paradise than some of their actions on it.
Some players are playing hard on the field and off the field as well. As you can only have a look at, there's a few sore heads in the morning. There's a lot of...
There we go, what a ball from Lawrence. Full and straight. Clean bowl, Satish Siva. Fantastic delivery. Sean Lawrence's 2nd wicket, and that's the 3rd down for Ocean 12.
Big wicket. Well bowled.
So they're just really trying to go hard, hitting with the wind, going for that deep mid-wicket boundary, but that was a great ball there from Lawrence. So, last few deliveries have slowed up Ocean 12 a bit. It's good bowling here from Enjoy the Ment. This match between 2 Sydney rivals.
It's funny how turf cricket can be a leveller in the LMS game. A lot of the teams are the Syntho cricket bullies. Still got to play proper cricket shots out here.
So this man here is just who we were discussing an over ago, Trav. It is Sudhakar Sanathapillai has come in, and he's certainly the, if not, I'd say he's the biggest hitter in this Ocean 12 lineup, and he only knows one way. So this is the match is going to shift one way or the other, I think, in the next couple of overs.
Well, he's just made his intent clear. First ball, cover drive out of the boundary for 1.
Lawrence coming to the end of his 3rd over. South African bowler for Enjoy the Ment. Bowling to Siva Palan, the opener, who's unbeaten on 17 at the moment. Great finish to the over there from Sean Lawrence. So 3rd over down for him. He's got 2 for 21. Score 54 for 3, so just a couple of runs off that over. Just even 1 run maybe. 54 for 3 after 8 overs.
Really good, really good. They're keeping it at 6 and over. That's pretty good. If they can hold them on to 6 and over for the rest of the game, that's pretty good total for them to be chasing.
Absolutely, and as discussed, there's a lot of class batting in this Enjoy the Ment side. They'll play it sensibly.
But it's funny how finals do funny things to cricketers. A little bit more pressure, a little bit more on at stake. A lot more guys sort of tense up and not to play their natural game. So,
and should be said that Brad McGrath, the captain for Enjoy the Ment, I think has been the recipient of more losing finals than any other player I know in Sydney. So
yeah, right.
There'll be a bit of that scar tissue for him. He'll be wanting to make up for that today. He'd certainly be one of the most decorated LMS players otherwise. He's played with multiple sides over the years, and it just shows the importance of him as a player, how many finals teams have reached with him in the middle of the lineup.
That can be good and bad at the same time, Rob. You don't want a bloke in your side that always loses.
This is true, Trav.
It's good to get him there. We've got a couple of teams like that on the Gold Coast that keep doing really well, and they get to the finals and choke every year. So,
to be fair to him, he did have a couple of wins in quick succession. But that does seem a long time ago now, and I know that he's all too aware of it. I think the last 2 Sydney finals days he's been on the losing side, but here we are at the national finals now. Mick Weir bowling left arm and got hold of that.
It's just holding out.
That is a huge wicket there. Sudhakar Sanathapillai holds out to the deep early. 4th wicket down. That is a massive wicket there. Two of the gun hitters now gone for Ocean 12. Mick Weir, the left-arm bowler, as you were saying, Trav. Batsman trying to reach across and just slog into the leg side.
You've got to try and play it straighter. You've got to try and use the full face of the bat. You can see he's cleared his left leg there and just swung across the line, lifting his head, gets the toe of the bat, doesn't get enough on it, straight to the fielder. Good catch.
Absolutely, Harry Reese there under pressure. Knew that was a big wicket, came in, took it cleanly. Now the next batsman in at number 6 for Ocean 12 is a name that all of us are very familiar in LMS in Australia. One of the Australian team representatives, Puri Srinivasan, who performed well over in England in August as part of the World Series, in which Australia reached the final, losing out to Sri Lanka in the final. All of these Ocean 12 players originally from Sri Lanka, so Puri, I know in particular, loved playing against them over there in England, and this is a big moment. So easy off the mark there, and Puri, he goes big, but he's a very good technical player as well. So I think at the moment he'll know the importance of just getting his head down and ensuring that they don't lose the 5th wicket soon, Trav.
It'd be almost a disaster if they lose 5 in the first 10 for the Oceans 12.
Absolutely, especially while they're hitting with the wind as well.
He's got it.
That's got a hold of that one, and that's cleared the fence. So pressure was really building on Ocean 12 there. So Siva Palin has relieved a bit of it, moving on to 23 off 20. They really needed that at 6 there, Trav.
Yes, played it very well. Got the big front foot down the wicket, went through the line of it. Just got it up high, let the wind do the rest. But again, it's the left-handed bowler's changed his tactic. He's bowling into the arc, which can always be dangerous. If you don't get it outside off stump, you're actually, all the batsman has to do is just help it on its way. He's changed, he's back over now. Must be listening to me.
Down the leg side there, that'll be disappointing for Mick Weir. He's a very experienced bowler, and he takes it seriously, his bowling. So he'll be disappointed with himself there. So that's the 6th ball in the over, so 9 overs, score now 66 for 4. Siva Palin, the opener, 26 off 21, and Puri Srinivasan just faced the one delivery off the mark with a single. Who we got coming on now? So Sean Lorenzo will complete his spell. It's been a good spell so far, 3 overs, 2 for 21 for the opening bowler.
Exceptional.
Sean Lorenzo will complete his spell. It's been a good spell so far for the overs, 2 for 21 for the opening bowler. So we're just having a change in the commentary box here, so thanks to Travis, and good to be involved here at Runaway Bay again. And I'm joined in the commentary box by another well-known personality in Last Man Stands cricket, Dane Rakowski. Welcome, Dane.
Morning, Rob. Morning, all.
So what are your thoughts on the start?
Well, Enjoy off to an absolute belter here. They've fielded very well as well. Ocean's in a bit of trouble. I think 130 seems to be the goal on this field, this tournament, and they're a long way from that at the moment.
Absolutely. They've done well here. Enjoy the Ment in the face of pressure and early aggression from Ocean 12, going for the sixes with the wind. They've plugged away, kept their lines well.
sure there's a few twists and turns left, but you'd have to say enjoy the Ment on top in this first 10. Run rate's still good though.
Absolutely, but no, they are hitting with the wind here, and the way that a lot of these Ocean 12 players like to play out there in the deep. Oh, it's a terrific fielding there.
That's what seems to define these top teams. The fielding and in particular the catching makes such a difference.
So you playing a top team then, Dane?
No, merely by observation though. I don't think I've taken a catch for about 4 years. Dropped plenty though.
Oh, absolutely, mate. I mean, drop catches are much better for the banter in LMS, and that's what we're in it for. So the last ball here of the first 10 overs before we switch ends. As discussed, this will be the last ball hitting with the wind. Quite a significant factor here at Runaway Bay.
Definitely.
They've gone for it. They knew it was the last ball, and that's deep. Brad McGraw just slowed up just before he got there. He hesitated. He slightly misjudged that. If he had carried on going, it would have been straight in there, but he just seemed to hesitate and then made the catch difficult for himself, and he'll be very disappointed with himself, the captain.
He is indeed.
So that's the 10 over mark, Dane. So halfway point, they'll be switching ends now.
Indeed.
Ocean 12 will be hitting into the wind. Half their wickets down, 75 for 4, with Siva Palan unbeaten on 29. Puri Srinivasan 7 off 4, and I know that you've watched a lot of Puri Srinivasan play cricket, Dane. What are your thoughts on the LMS Australia representative that we have out there now?
Oh, fantastic player. Excellent for the game. Plenty to learn from him as he builds his innings. Very aggressive, but I think he's got an element of measure in his approach that means that he picks the ball early on so that he doesn't take too many overt risks and therefore can build an innings. Played nicely down to third man. Take a single there.
So these two sides, for those of you just joining us from Sydney, it's in New South Wales in Australia. The next semi-final, we have a team from Ipswich, which is near Brisbane in Queensland, taking on the local side, Tradies You Can't Trust, who are effectively the home side here at Runaway Bay.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be a fantastic second semi-final, kicking off at 11 o'clock.
An absolute Jaffa coming up for sure.
11 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time,
Well
and that's a
played
great
there.
cut shot there into the gap, just behind point.
He's absolutely smoked that. Daniel Dent just getting his line wrong there, and Sri is not going to miss too many of them. One bounce.
So it's first over here for Daniel Paul Dent. Bowling with the wind, and that's early pressure put on in there by Puri Srinivasan.
Slower ball. Looks like he rolled the fingers off cutter style.
Coming back for 2, and that's a good running again there from Ocean 12. Excellent runners, these guys.
Makes all the difference as you tot it up over the course of 20 overs.
Is that a tactic that you tend to approach with your batting, Dane?
I don't know that I've run any twos this tournament. Certainly not that I can remember. Oh, great
Another
shot.
cut shot there from Puri, but that's picked out the fielder, so just a single there to the deep. Srinivasan moves on to 14 off 7 balls. Siva Palan, the opener, down the other end, 30 off 25. And in this context, Dane, it's really important that Siva Palan retires, allows the low order to go hard.
Got to get one in the sheds. It's effectively giving your team another wicket, and they're not going to want to let Sri get too much further going here. Punches straight.
Good bowling there from Dent.
He's tightened up there.
Down the ground, and that ends his over. So first over from Daniel Dent, going for 9 runs. Score 84 for 4 after 11 overs.
Yeah, they're keeping the rate up, and that will be important come the death overs of the innings.
Absolutely. So yesterday we saw Ocean 12 take on another Sydney rival of theirs, Spartans, and Spartans were much fancied during this tournament, but just imploded a bit yesterday. 4 run-outs, lost half their wickets to run-outs there.
Incredible, and that can happen in big games and in pressure situations. But Spartans were the name ringing out ahead of that encounter. But that's what it's all about, I suppose.
Then Enjoy the Ment charged through the knockout stages yesterday, helped by a hat-trick from Vivek Nandagam.
What a superb spell that was. Knocked my boys from Brisbane over, Bomb Squad, Mickey Timmins and co.
They were much fancied as well, weren't they, Dane?
Did very well. Oh, good bowling there.
So this is Vivek Nandagam, the man. Took a
5 for 10 off 3.4, so it's tough to get much better than that, especially on the big stage.
Absolutely. Player of the day yesterday, would you say, Dane?
Easy, definitely. In a day full of good performances, that was the best. Nick down,
big edge, and that should run away for 4 down here, and does.
All the way there.
So Sean Lawrence can't quite reach it. Great spell there from Sean Lawrence. Dane?
Very good. Early wickets the key. 2 for 30. Numbers okay. Runs conceded okay. Wickets excellent, especially against these boys. They can really bat.
There's so much batting in this Ocean 12 side. It's always been a
Deep as
mark
the
of their
ocean.
play. Deep as the ocean. That's true.
Not bad.
Goes, hits him full. Looked like it was probably just going down the leg there, I think, Dane.
Sliding down, I'd say. Leg by Given, so that would possibly confirm that.
As we said before, 2 very experienced umpires out there with over 1,000 games of LMS between them.
Incredible stats. Yeah, they're the engine room men for sure.
Nandagam comes in again. Carefully played from Srinivasan into the offside.
Here.
Excellent running again from Ocean 12.
Yeah, very impressive. That all adds up. Sri, 16 off 8 now. It's getting to be that time where they're going to want him out very, very soon, or it could get messy.
So of the 4 finals day teams, Dane, who's your pick out of these 4 today?
Well, I've been watching them all closely. I'd have to say second 11 are my pick to go all the way, merely for the fact that, I don't know, they seem, well, they're all very hungry, but second 11, they seem to be particularly hungry this tournament. Marty at the helm, but a deep squad. They've picked up 1 or 2 excellent all-rounders as well, but honestly, flip of coin a few times and that'd tell you just as much as what I've told you. It's going to be very close, I think.
Well, there's a lot of experience across this final today, as I say.
Amounts, thousands of games deep.
Ocean 12, the 2016 national champions, and then the next semi-final, second 11 and tradies you can't trust have each won 2 national championships, exactly. So that's 5 national championships
There's
across
a lot
4
of
teams.
Silverware already on the on show here. Sorry.
Experienced players who've won big tournaments before, and then
that's right, and that matters.
Enjoy the Ment, the 4th side here, who the only side on this finals day that haven't been national champions in Australia. But the amount of experience in their side and the range of teams that all their players have played across, and the amount of Sydney titles between all of them, they're used to success as well.
Absolutely, and it might be my ignorance showing, but I didn't know a hell of a lot about Enjoy the Ment ahead of this tournament, but I sure do now, and they are class. They are potentially giant killers here, definitely.
So Siva Palan on 35 not out here.
Done a good job. Anchor up top, smacked away there.
Great shot through extra cover, takes him on to 39 off 30 balls, and with the early loss of a couple of wickets, it was crucial that he kept his head and went on, and
absolutely.
it was a terrific innings in the context.
sheet anchor roll, but now moves to 39 off 30, strike rate 130. That's bang on sort of the target score. Up it goes, but that'll be safe. Calling for just one this time. Soccer skills out there. Into the 40s now. 3, 18 off 10. And the total score 4 for 98, 12.3. Yeah, they're on track for a decent total here.
Well, it's a very important partnership here. I think Dane Srinivasan has come in, he scored quickly, and Siva Palan seems to have got going a bit better with the confidence of having Puri down the other end.
That's right. If there's one man that's going to lift you. Kicking it over. Tighter line this over from Dent.
This is now last ball in the 13th over. 99 on the board for 4, so Asian 12 recovering well here after at one stage, once they lost that 4th wicket, they looked like they could be in all sorts.
Definitely. They were 4 for 56 off 8.2 as far back as I can remember.
So it just shows that last man stands cricket isn't all about the big slogs and the big sixes. It's these guys have played very intelligently, nice shots and running twos hard.
Definitely.
And just helping Ocean 12 out of a bit of a hole.
Exactly. Not a lot of dot balls in this partnership, and ticking it along like that just means that you never lose too much momentum to the wickets. And this partnership now well into the 40s, and they've kept rate in the mid to high 7s, which projecting would mean around 154, 155 at this stage. But there's always a few twists and turns to come, I'm sure.
Good maths there, Dane. And at the end of the 13th over, I'm going to leave you for a bit and pass over to Peter Bowman, who I'm sure lots of you know well, runs LMS in Canberra and Newcastle. Dane.
Thanks, Rob. Pleasure. Welcome, Pete.
Thanks, Dane. What an amazing day here at Runaway Bay.
Absolutely beautiful once again. The ground's looking a picture.
Welcome to everyone joining us here today, for the first time today, at Runaway Bay. Travis and the crew here at Runaway Bay, I'm sure you guys have already said this, done an amazing job with the wickets and the setup.
Wonderful job as always.
Fantastic food and beverages coming out of the clubhouse as well.
Yeah, I've been partial to a few chicken burgers. Some of the best in the world, I reckon.
My personal favourite certainly is the peri-peri wrap, that I can thoroughly recommend to those gentlemen who are celebrating success. 4 over point there.
Beautiful
Lovely shot.
That's Sri once again. Vivek just getting his line wrong there, giving too much width, and slashed away for 4. Sri moving to 23 off 12 now. Danger signs ahead.
So I missed the first few overs of the match, Dane. How's the pitch playing?
Well, it seems to be fairly true. It seems to be getting through.
Oh, lovely ball there, and that's out.
Massive wicket.
Umpire has gone up with the bowler there. Thick edge through to the keeper. A little bit of tail in that ball there.
Yeah, that's right. And we saw yesterday that Vivek can move the ball. He moved it very well, and that is a huge wicket, both for the player he dismissed and in the context. That was becoming quite a dangerous partnership there.
What a fantastic partnership. I did hear in the commentary before you saying that you didn't know much about Enjoy the Ment, and I must admit I'm the same.
Yeah.
I think there's been a few teams up here this year that have merged together from other teams. I know the team I played for was a combination of Newcastle, Canberra and Toowoomba guys, which seems geographically weird.
Took me a long time to sort of unbox that one in my mind, but you played very well, actually.
I think we punched above, but our age and waistline got the better of us in the end, I think. But
we came up against a deadly foe in second 11.
I think that was always going to be tough. But I think this Enjoy the Ment, Brad McGrath obviously at the helm of this team.
That's right, yeah.
My knowledge of Brad is that they're from the Wombats originally.
Yeah, that's right.
And I spoke to him yesterday and he was saying there's a few guys, the Wombats have sort of moved away, family and the other sort of things that affect us obviously playing cricket.
Right, yep.
He said they sort of had a chat about this last year and then the guys have pulled the team together. So
wonderful. And for those that didn't know the name Enjoy the Ment ahead of this tournament, I'm sure they do now.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, I mean, I looked at that final 16 and there's some big names. I mean, from day one,
Big names.
Spartans were called out as they were going to win the competition.
That's right.
And it's not often I stand up and listen to that when we've got tradies and second 11s and 3 shorts and my team, Yes No Wait from Canberra this year, I thought they really had the gear to take it on as well. But there were some giant killers. I probably should mention Bomb Squad from Brisbane there as well, because I umpired them in the first game when I first came up here, and they were looking very up for the challenge.
Absolutely. They felled a giant yesterday in Rock Lobsters. Rock Lobsters, one of the most highly respected teams around Oz, and they've earned that.
Absolutely.
Those stripes 100%. But a very close game.
Indeed. I believe Jakey O'Connell didn't play that game.
And that's a factor.
And that's a beautiful shot there. Lofted through cover.
Great running once
Fielding,
again.
sliding down. Yes, beautiful running there to 2. And I think that makes a difference when we get to this end of the competition as well. Certainly, some of these teams are turning 3s into 2s. Sorry, 3s into 2s, 2s into 3s.
Definitely.
I think
That's
we
my job, yeah.
we were turning 3s into 1s, and that's certainly the difference. But I think
that makes a massive difference.
What we're seeing here, though, and I think a common mistake for a lot of LMS sides is they think they've got to go over the boundary to win games. Whereas if you can accumulate and you get your partnerships and get someone in the bank with a 50, it really allows the middle order and the tail to open up.
Yep, that man in the shed's all the more important. The higher up you go, and Siva, 44 off 34, he's almost there. And with the wicket of Shri, it's extra important now that he can get to 50, retire, and then come back as needed.
Absolutely. And in fact, a wide call there from Warren O'Rourke.
Bit of a spray from Gus, first ball of his spell today.
Massive amounts of umpiring experience out there today.
Big stuff.
Warren O'Rourke from the Central Coast. He originally started his umpiring with Last Man Stands Newcastle. Or should I say his LMS umpiring career with Last Man Stands Newcastle. He's now with Trent on the coast. He comes down and fills in for our Twilight comps, which is awesome.
Very good. It's good to have the experience out there. Lovely ball, this time from Gus. Punched away down to long on for a single. Tight little period here after the break of that partnership. Just under 6 overs left. 110 for 5, the score. What would your projection be here, Pete?
Just at the end of this ball. Oh, upish. It'll be one bounce. Fielder should just... Oh, great one-handed pick up there to come in. Only takes it to single. Listen, from this mark, 5 overs to go, I'd probably want him to see around 150, 160.
Absolutely.
I think that would be par. I think... Oh,
that might be a wide. That'll
ball.
be 3 there.
I think that anything above 160 on this oval starts to become, more difficult to chase. I mean, it's a big ground. I mean, you get benefit for your shots,
Of course.
but you're playing against teams that are really knowing where to put the ball, and it's going to be more difficult to get them over the fence. So, yeah, I'd want 160. Oh, that's edged up,
Bobbles.
and that's out.
Out he goes.
That's a real disappointment there, I think, for Oceans, that he hasn't been able to finish that 50. I think they'll be very disappointed with that outcome. Enjoy the Ment, rightfully excited about that.
I think that's actually Kartapan.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yep.
My apologies.
So, no, that's all right. The newcomer, out for 6 or 5. He looked busy, but another wicket there, which means that it is the final 2 batsmen now. We have Anu on 45 off 35, and Dinesh Kumar Chandrasekhar, the new man in. Gus Sloan sprayed a bit this over, but 1 for 6 off 4 deliveries.
He's shown when he can get the ball up close to the stumps that he's really getting a lot more benefit for in picking up a couple of wickets there.
Well, that's right. We were interrupted before by a sky ball that was well taken out in the deep. But the pitch seems to be hurrying on a little bit more than it has the last few days, which is definitely a good sign for the bowlers. Keeps things interesting. So now things are definitely different with those 2 wickets in recent times. 6 for 114, 1 wicket away from a last man scenario here.
And it's interesting, isn't it, when you get into a last man situation, is that, again, a lot of guys don't like being in that situation, but you really do have time to pick your ball.
Absolutely.
And you can maximise. So But it's really important for these guys to bat out their overs as well, I think.
Batting out the overs is absolutely key here. Even if they manage 5 and over, they'll get to 140, which is a decent total. Just stick.
Off the
Lovely.
hip there.
Nicely tucked away. So the end of Gus Sloane's first over, he ends with 1 for 7, so not bad after he gave away 4 in total in wides and an extra ball. Big wicket in the context, and any wicket against Oceans is a big wicket.
This is true. Oceans don't seem as electric as they were maybe a couple of years ago.
Possibly.
Do you know that if they're missing a few from their lineup from
Couldn't
that
say
team that won the
to be
championship?
absolutely sure, but yeah, perhaps that is. I mean, early wickets though can slow things a little, even in the most aggressive of players. But yeah, an important passage for both teams here, massive.
Oh, edging down there through backward point. Fielder comes round.
Yeah, cuts off the
One
2
bounce
there.
in. Yep.
They've got the right men in the right spots. That's what I've noticed about these higher ranked and skilled teams. They know exactly who should go where, in addition to when to bowl certain people and to whom. Vivek charges in again.
Oh, a bit wide.
Yeah, a bit of extra width out there. Slashed away, but
Footwork not so great with that, and I think that's why he sort of pulled that around a little bit through cover.
that's right.
So
Vivek, 1 for 23 off 3.2. Following up his incredible 5 for 10 yesterday, he's been pretty tight here.
I don't know, over the wicket. Oh, lovely shape. Batsman, not
Great
much of an
shape.
idea, but flick. Just
Yeah.
beautiful coverage again there by the fieldman coming in there. Lawrence, number 22.
Hits the stumps as well. Well run too. I think we'll give him that he just opened the face on that one. It seemed to deck away, which is wonderful to see. He's got a few tricks, old Vivek. 2 balls left in his spell, 1 for 25 thus far. He'll be desperate for one more to his tally for this tournament. A fine tournament for him.
Right on over the wicket comes in. Oh, slower ball. Lovely ball. Well played in the end. He came forward to it and just managed to cover that one up.
Telegraphed it a little bit, but it was shaping in.
I think the fact that you and I saw it straight out of the hand from this far away, I think that probably gave it away.
Indeed.
But I was talking about Warren before. He's got well over 300 matches umpired. I think Srinath is the same from Sydney.
Yeah, Rob was saying something like, well bowled. 1,000 games between them. That's incredible.
Pushed out there again. Great fielding there. One coming in. Yes, and I think Srinath's the one who made that decision a couple of years ago in the Rock Lobsters Oceans 12 game. The run out right towards the end of the match that was proven in photo form to be absolutely spot on, and I mean he just eats the pressure up, I think.
Absolutely. Ice cold. Wonderful spell from Vivek. Ends with 1 for 26 or 4. That's just 6.5 and over there, which is bang on.
So we've got a couple of other games going on here at Runaway Bay today as well. We've got
Indeed.
Spartan Panthers versus the Daily Batters, and Spartan Panthers currently 141 for 6 off 18. And we've got One in All In versus Rampant AC. One in All In, one have finished their batting dig and they ended up with 183 for 7. You can follow those scores. They won't be live streamed, but you can follow it at lastmanstands.com/live-scores, and you'll be able to pick up the ball-by-ball coverage from the umpires in those matches.
Perfect. And here's Gus in for another. Trundling in. Tightens his line outside off.
Rocks under the back foot.
Yeah, nicely played. I think they'll bat in the slipstream for maybe 1 or even 2 more overs, trying to take sort of 5, 6 and then charge home. I don't know that many teams that have scored over 130 on this deck have lost this tournament. That's
a
wide.
wide ball. Notice there though, just a little bit further outside the stump there, that ball stayed quite low.
Definitely did. I suppose as a batsman you're not too fearful of that because it's quite wide. However, definitely stayed low.
Oh,
Up
straight
it
down the
goes.
ground.
That'll be safe though.
Yeah. Well around again. Oh, one-handed pick up again. easily through for the 2.
There's some real vipers out there, charging to the ball, getting it in.
Absolutely. I think that was one of the things in our game yesterday, is that we were certainly running on fumes. No excuses. Very much beaten by a better side on the day. But I think that's one of the things when you come into these tournaments, being able to play it out. Oh, slides down leg side.
That'll be worth 3 there. That big moment. Yeah, absolutely. The fitness and the anticipation of some of these fielders is incredible, and it can be the difference between 10, 15, 20 runs across the 20 overs.
Absolutely.
Which can be all the difference, especially on a larger field.
Trundles in again. Oh, tries to push that one into the deck a bit harder. That is a great shot. 4 runs there.
And Siva moves to 56 or 40. He's batted fantastically. It's been a wonderful innings. He's pushed his strike rate up to 140 now. And every 10 balls he seems to accelerate. So 17 off his last 10 now. He was 39 off 30. And there they go past the 130 mark now. And I think...
you have to think with a few more, few overs to go that possibly 160, 170 is on the cards here.
Well, yeah, especially with Ocean 12 at the crease. They've lost some big names, but still some very capable players out there at the moment. And 15 balls left. Maybe looking at 2 a ball, that puts you over 160, which is a big score on this deck.
Speaking of big names, though, Brad McGrath coming back. So Brad will bowl the 18th and the 20th, you would think.
Absolutely, with 1 for 9 off 2.
So, with all due respect to Oceans as well, I guess, you know, if anyone's going to stop them from hitting that mark, it will be Brad.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Nice
Lovely ball, and there we go. Oh, bit of a collision between the batsman and the bowler. 2 different weight categories there, I think.
Both have a quick laugh, and then back to focus. Yeah, Brad on the money there, and I think that's quite summative of his entire philosophy on bowling. Straighten out the stumps.
Absolutely. Lots of shoulder in that, and he does have shoulders for weeks, so it's kind of it's funny standing next to him and thinking, I'm not a small guy, but next to Brad I am.
Yeah, I'm sure he can hit a ball as well. Leg by there, so keeping it tight, stump to stump stuff, and that's his forte. You miss, I hit.
Absolutely. Oh, lovely! Brad McGrath.
Right on cue.
Stump to stump. Too close for cutters there. Off stump, out of the ground.
Seems to have tailed in as well. A wonderful innings by Sivapalan, 56 or 41. But he'll be disappointed at the timing of that wicket. It's shaped in. Looks to have moved in the air.
It did shape in, which is funny because he's shaping that in against the wind.
That's right.
The wind coming from the left to the right of the ground here, coming towards the clubhouse. It's not as strong as it has been this week.
It's quite gentle.
Yeah.
It's a factor to be sure, but it's no hurricane, that's for sure.
Cooler conditions, cloudy.
Yeah, indeed.
Obviously Queensland suiting the swing bowler.
Indeed.
To be perfectly honest, I haven't seen a lot of swing bowlers this weekend. A lot of guys really just trying to bowl quick and fast.
Absolutely. Which
can go pear-shaped very quickly.
Exactly. I think the conditions today will see a few bowlers drop it back, dial it back from 100% to maybe 90 and try and exploit some of the swing conditions.
Well, I think the master of that will be Marty from second 11, master LMS tactician, and I think that seeing how he groups his bowlers together will be really part of the enjoyment of this game. So Brad McGrath coming, just waiting, setting his field now. We've got 2 more balls to come in this over. Obviously in LMS they're 5-ball overs. Maximum of 6 balls can be bowled in any LMS over up until the 20th over when all balls are re-bowled. Oh, a little bit wide there, so not doing himself any favours having to bowl the extra ball. So that one will be re-bowled. So there's still 2 balls to go, so there'll be 6 balls in this over. First wide or no ball in an over is worth 1. Every subsequent would be worth 3, except in that final over where they're all rebowled and worth 1.
Absolutely.
Oh, lovely again. Exactly the way he
Tight
started
line.
the over. Right in, tight up on the pads, not giving the batsman a lot of choice. Now, we're in a last man stand situation here as well, Dane, so he can only run 2s, or only score 2s, 4s and 6s.
That's right, yeah, absolutely. So big field, so there are opportunities, but you really have to back yourself.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things is tailing it again. Oh, I don't know that he's going to get that one.
No.
But I think he played around that. But nice from the big guy to sort of take the appeal up, try and con the umpire. I think the umpires just said to him, "Yeah, nice one."
1 for 1 off that over, so that's fantastic. Yeah, last man situation, so things definitely change here. The fielders are more inclined to stay right out on the pickets to cut off any potential boundaries and take any potential 6s. Running 2s is not my thing, so I don't know much about the strategy.
You and me both, mate. I call 2 just to see if I can, upset the field.
Indeed.
But
there are gaps out there, but as we've seen, the general standard of the Enjoy the Ment fielders is extremely high. And they've all got good arms on them.
So looking at the field set up here now, we've got deep square, deep cow, deep long on, deep everything, to be honest.
They've pushed them all back now.
Cover. Oh, again, inside out. Through cover. Oh, it's gone, spun past him. Oh, lovely, tapped it down.
Tense moment. Good areas from Danny Dent. He'll be bowling very much to exploit this situation and also his capable fielders and where they're positioned.
Absolutely.
Dinesh Kumar on strike.
I don't know whether we really stump to stump again. And so you look at that. I mean, that's normally you'd pick up 1 out of that,
Absolutely.
and they might even be pushing for 2. But
Yeah,
the batsman doesn't want to take the chance. Now he can only be run out down at the keeper's end.
that's right. So it simplifies, I suppose, for the fielders. They know exactly which end they have to throw to. So it takes an element of judgment out, always to the keeper.
So I know that slower ball again. I think maybe he could have had a go at that one. I don't know that landed exactly where the bowler wanted it, but
No, not quite. I suppose at the back of Dinesh's mind, 8 balls to go at that stage. He wants to see out the 20. However, yeah, it's a balancing act, to be sure.
obviously, and right in close to the stumps again, onto the back foot, slices it out through cover.
This is very tight. Enjoy the men. There was that partnership earlier between Anu and Shri that was looking very dangerous. We were talking 155, 160.
I think again is guys not going on with their innings. That's a lovely ball.
Very clever.
Squared the batsman up.
That sees the end of that over. And 1 left then. So 19 overs gone, 133 for 7. That's an exact run rate of 7. However,
And 7 dot balls is what we've just seen as well. So I think
right.
lucky 7s.
lucky 7s indeed.
I know a few members of the LMS fraternity that would take that down to the casino tonight and try and exploit it.
Yes, indeed. So it's Big Brad McGrath to finish the innings and his spell. 2 for 10 off 3. He's been fantastic. Hard to beat those figures
Absolutely.
in such a big game.
So wide of the crease. Oh, lovely. Wide of the crease. Tailing that back in
Tailing
nicely.
in against all the odds there. I think we've seen some intent from Dinesh Kumar there. It's time to go in his mind.
Obviously in this over, all wides and no balls will be rebowled. So Brad will be testing that wide line, but I think
He will indeed.
just in watching the last few overs, he'll bowl 2 from wide of the crease and then getting nice and close to the stumps. And
Yeah,
there we
stump.
go. That's it. Don't need to worry any more about what he might do.
No, that's
Beautiful
wonderful
delivery.
bowling. 3 for 10 off 3.2 is stunning in such a big game and against such a wonderful opponent. And that is, you'd have to say, pretty much bang on par. So 1-3-4 to win for Enjoy the Ment.
I think it's a toss of the coin now as to
Definitely.
it's well and truly in Ocean's court. Bowl well, and you should be able to defend a total like this on a big ground.
That's right.
Runaway Bay #1. Bowl loose though, and the Smokies of the tournament are going to make you pay.
More and more, the Smoky call rings true. They're continuing to impress and surprise. Well, it's no longer a surprise. They've knocked over too many wonderful teams now, and this is a fantastic back 10.
I think that's one of the things that I've noticed with the big teams falling. I think maybe there was just a little bit of I don't want to say arrogance, but overconfidence maybe in how they approached a few teams.
It could be possible, indeed. I mean, the overall standard of LMS continues to rise.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to make any assumptions these days. As Enjoy the Ment are showing.
You only have to look at what happened at the LMS World Series earlier this year, and I think pound for pound, we had some of the best Australian LMS cricketers go over there, but they were competing against some highly talented, former professional players, plus, guys coming out of the subcontinent who just were amazing, and they fought their way through to a fantastic final series. 2 last ballers, and then, unfortunately, probably against a much fresher opponent in Sri Lanka. It didn't quite get there, but I've spoken to the boys about it, and I mean, if you put Marty as the benchmark for passion in this competition, I mean, he was just busted at the end. He had no more left to give, and they showed themselves to be proud ambassadors for the game here in Australia. So
they did a wonderful job, and the tournament was fantastic. I was glued to the screen most nights, and the overall standard was amazing, and we're seeing some extremely high standard cricket here as well.
So in the background, while you're just sorting a few things out there with the back office, I'll just duck back in and see what's happening in the other games. So Spartan Panthers set 169 in the plate semi-final 1 against Daily Batters. They are playing on the backfields here, number 2 and number 3. Two very well fought out final series for the plates. So in that match, Spartan Panthers, Ravi Chandra scored 13 of 11, TJ Singh 35 from 27, Ranjith Kumar 12 from 9, Jeff Lynn 5 from 3, Sivasaka 49 from 33, Paul Gillette finished on 39 from 19, not out, Wasim Sheikh 1 from 2, and Bhagava Radish 10 from 7. Bowling figures there in that match. Michael David 2 for 22. That's a commentator's beautiful thing to say. Andrew Percy none for 21. Drew Ferguson 2 for 20. Alex Ross none for 40. Gus Guthrie none for 10. Vinay Kumar 1 for 22. Steve Emmett 1 for 14. And John Guthrie 1 for 15. So Daily Batters out there now, needing 170 to win. Steve Emmett out there at the moment with Michael David, 2 from 3 and 4 from 3. So that match poised. I will go back into the other semi-final there. A lot of those guys playing a lot of cricket this weekend. And we have in the other one in all in set 183 in their match. Let me just knock the microphone there. The conditions here, while I'm waiting for that score sheet to load, a bit overcast today. It's been beautiful all week. The wind is just a little bit sort of swirly. It was coming across the ground, seems to be coming a bit further down the ground now.
It's starting to change its mind a little bit. This is a massive sort of first few overs here. I think either side can really stamp their authority on the game here and take it away one way or the other. An early wicket or two could really put a dampener on Enjoy the Ment's chase, and conversely a couple of slashing boundaries could really hammer down that required rate. Brad McGrath 3 for 10 off 3.2. Hard to top that in a game as big as this. can see the Oceans boys just warming up now. They look keen, they look committed. And the wind changing directions once again here, so it's going to be very interesting to see how both teams sort of work with that. Whether they use the slow bowlers to begin with, and whether Enjoy the Ment send out some booming hitters or some accumulators, or a combination of both.
Obviously the system will take the other batsman, then I go in just to...
And it looks like we're not far off going live here. And joining me now is the man himself, Lydon Gibbons, the poster boy and figurehead of Tradies You Can't Trust, the local cult heroes, and two-time winner of the Oz Champs. Morning, mate. How are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Very well, mate. And a big game up next against the second 11.
Probably not the biggest of the tournament, but it'll be an alright game, I guess.
Indeed it will. So what's your strategy against Marty and co?
I don't know, probably 20 beers before the game.
So standard recipe there?
Yeah, no, look, they're a good side. They've been playing a lot, but I don't think it's the best side they've had this tournament. And
sure.
They've only just brought in the turf cricket into their competition.
That's
there,
right.
So.
And it is a big factor. It's a massive change between Syntho and turf, whereas this is your boys' local neck of the woods. So will you be batting up the order today? Where are you going to hover?
I was actually thinking of just giving another player my name again, because it seems to be the good recipe. If someone else plays under my name, they seem to be doing a lot better than what I do with it. So
you reckon you've scored some of your best runs that way?
Yeah. Nah, look, it'll fix itself up. But look, our strategy is just to get a couple of the bigger hitters hitting with the wind.
Definitely.
And unfortunately, that's not me anymore. So I just literally just tick it over and kick him over if one of the boys retire and get him back in.
Well, I think you're being a bit modest there. I've seen what you can do, and I don't think that'll ever change. But
that was a few years ago, I'd imagine. I'm actually more of a bowler now, I reckon. Probably the best leg spinner in the comp.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, you're bowling leggies now.
Yeah.
Lovely. I didn't know that.
He just agreed with me. I was like, yeah. Well, clearly you haven't seen me play. Well, the last over I bowled, I think, went for about 24. So, but
yes,
Mitch McPhee was absolutely killing it yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, there's some good players around this tournament. The top 16 this year was incredible. It's come a long way. The wind is a factor here. So, do you prefer using the slower bowlers when the batsmen are hitting with the wind, or?
Oh no, so our tactic's been, it'll probably change against second 11 because we've got the two lefties that open, but we usually just get the guys hitting against the wind early, have the slow bowlers, because not saying that this isn't a great standard, but I've always thought that as the standards go down, a good spinner is very hard to play. So, and everyone wants to take off. They want to take on the spinners. So Travi's been probably our key bowler. I think he's actually ranked number 1 in the tournament so far with his.
Surprise me.
With his off, he's just changed his pace. He's hitting the stumps more often than not, and blokes are trying to whack him out the ground into that wind early. It just can't be done, to be fair. And he's got some real good cricketers out this tournament so far. So.
He's fantastic. I rate him extremely high. Excellent insight there. Yeah, the wind it's definitely a factor, and as we come back out now,
this could be a shock upset.
Mate,
what do they end up hitting?
Enjoy the Ment need 134 to win, which sort of sits around that par total.
Yeah, 4th day pitch.
That's right.
There does seem to be slightly more in it this year than in previous years.
Definitely, we noticed that earlier. Actually, it's still kicking through a little bit.
We played the first game on it of the tournament, and there was plenty in it. Like Phil and Beardy do an amazing job out here.
Absolutely.
And there was a fair bit in it, and the team we were lucky to hit 140 because we were 7 for 50 or something, and Trigger just played through the line exceptional, like it was just another game for him, and he hit 90 odd for us.
Incredible.
And then we ended up somehow tying that game. But in previous years, if you hit 142 out there, you just be pretty confident you take the win.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely, mate. And
we'll see.
Now we've got Harry Reese just tickling that down to third man to get off the mark. It's facing the slingy pace bowling of Suthakar.
Is this the surprise packages team, like
I would
the Met
absolutely
boys?
say so. Pete and I were discussing earlier, we didn't know a hell of a lot about them before the tournament. We sure do now.
Well, the good news is Ben Gorham's meant to play for him, or he plays for them in Sydney, and I don't know if he's left them or if they've dropped him, but if they've dropped him, it's obviously a very good decision. And Ben will be kicking himself if it was the other way around.
Well, indeed, because they've come a long way and knocked over some giants already. This would be another major scalp for them.
Well, the Met boys played the other team from our pool yesterday morning, and it was a real close game, which I thought. So I just assumed, and no disrespect here for the Met boys, when it was a close game with those guys, like, we were in a horrible position and we got away with the tie. And since they were so competitive against the Met, we thought, we'll write them off. They'll just lose next round to whoever they play.
Of course, yeah.
And then they just kept winning. And they beat the team that beat the Rock Lobsters.
Yeah.
So
they gave them a bit of a smackdown as well.
Bit of a David and Goliath story if they win this one. It was Ocean 12.
It will be massive.
They've been the team of the tournament, I think, so far.
Definitely. Nice slingy action. It's just staying busy at the moment. That'll be the fourth single. Oh no, they're coming back. And with extra pressure.
Oh, they've got 3 here.
Wow, incredible. That extra pressure has resulted in a 3 of what should have probably been a single.
This is the only issue that we've had as tradies. As the game evolves, everyone wants to run 2s and 3s, and it's just not our cup of tea, unfortunately.
Mate, I'm right with you there on that one.
Oh,
he's got it.
Behind. Change up.
Big nick there. Yep. Took the pace off it. Might have been an off-cutter by the looks.
Yeah, it was.
Just a nick straight through. So that's Harry Reese gone in the first over. That's a big wicket, and the celebrations will reinforce that notion. That's a massive loss.
I was talking to Ben Gorham, actually. He's over there on the sideline, and he actually reckons that their keeper's probably their number 1 bat, or their best bat. So I'm not sure what his name is, but probably look out for him.
I reckon we might be able to tell as soon as he gets out there. You can generally tell with those players. So
fingers crossed that wasn't him walking off.
He might have stitched him there. Okay, so 1 for 6 off 1. What started as some busy accumulation ends in the loss of Alex Reese.
Yeah, they're hitting against the wind. If they just tick it at 6s, they still hit 60 at the turn. And
absolutely.
They're probably going to use up a lot of their better bowlers in that first 10, trying to put them on the back foot early. So it does get easier in the second 10. I know the ball's not as hard, but you can always find ways to score runs, especially if you don't lose any wickets. You can take more risks.
Excellent insight here. It's great to chat to a local lad and a legend of the game. He knows his stuff. So that makes total sense. If they milk 6 and over, they get to 60, 74 off the back 10 with the wind. We've got some off spin here. Donald Riddell. Through the hands. They get 2 there.
Also, the boundaries are pretty big. There's not too many blokes that can pin it in from the boundary against the wind.
Absolutely.
So you could probably start pushing on arms.
Yep, if the fitness is there, those 2s really start to add up.
I'm talking for these 2, not for the next game.
Very good.
But I saw yesterday, Vaughan from second 11, he's got an absolute cannon. It was just flat from the boundary, right over the bails. So.
Yep, and as soon as you see that, you start hesitating, and that dries up those 2s.
It's all about just getting bat and ball, because obviously with the field spread, you just have to hit it.
Absolutely.
You just get off strike.
There's gaps everywhere. You've got to stay busy.
You take the odd boundary when they come, and you should be able to take 130 pretty comfortably. 136, is it?
Absolutely. You do not want to panic yet. 134 wins it for the Ment. Nicely dabbed down to third man. So 4 off 4 balls this over. Staying busy in spite of that top order wicket.
If I was Oceans 12, I probably would have given them the wind early, just because it was a small total.
Yep.
And seeing if a few of the blokes wanted to lose their wickets trying to get it.
Sure. Tempt fate.
But with a bigger score, you always make them hit against the wind, and
yeah, because it gets harder and harder.
Scoreboard pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is a factor. It's quite a strong breeze. All right, that's the end of the second over, just the 5 from it. So tidy. The early wicket puts Oceans in front. It's going to be interesting to see how the men approach this.
Well, they've got using the power play. They've got the 4 on the offside.
They do indeed, actually. Good observation. 4 on the off. Nice slinging action. All limbs in there.
Actually, haven't really. Obviously, with the change of the rules with the 4 overs at the front and the 2 at the back.
That's right. Yeah.
I haven't actually seen too many teams utilise it this year. Because when it first came out, a lot of teams were doing it. But
Yeah, that's right. I suppose there seems to be some hesitation from some of the skippers to know when to use it and against whom, but the higher ranked teams seem to really enjoy it. Good bowling.
yeah, but see, this guy's practically a backstop. Like, he's
He is
that fine. He's
very
at
fine.
second slip, but on the boundary. Like, if I was to do it anyway, I'd be having 4, but I'd have like either the point or the cover in stopping a single at least, and then you've still got your
Excellent.
3 on the
Still got
ring,
your
and then you've got
boundary
the bloke
runners.
stopping the ones. With your bowler, hopefully good enough to give you 1 or 2 dots and over. Then maybe if they hit it to that fielder, he's got 1 more dot, and then suddenly getting 6 and over is not that easy.
This is all very good insight from a man
See, like
that's
that,
been there
if
and done it.
that point guy or one of
There
the
you
cover
go.
guys was in, he could have maybe stopped that.
Very good observation. That it makes total sense. 3 dots in an over in a run chase certainly seems to build pressure really quickly and can create enough pressure for a batsman to play a rash shot.
Absolutely. A walk across, try to flick it down or something like that.
Dirty old Mo across the leg side.
Well, that's the more common one, isn't it? But like, obviously, these guys can afford to do it because their bowler's pretty comfortable bowling, 4th,
Yep.
5th stump and can stay there. Where
Absolutely.
yesterday what was he? The English fella, the Adil,
Oh yeah.
he did the same thing, but they had the bloke in trying to stop the single, plus they had the 3 out on the offside, and he just kept spraying him down leg.
Going down leg, that one.
He
Yeah,
sprayed it down
indeed.
leg without the fine leg there, and then he got 5 wides. Then they just worked him off their pads. And,
Yeah, indeed.
like, so you need to obviously be able to back your bowler to put it in the right spots.
That's exactly right. If you're going to set a field like that, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the end of the third. 1 for 15. Suthakar 1 for 9 off 2. Yeah, definitely. You need your bowler and your fielders to work in tandem there.
Yeah.
And Ocean 12, very good side, very, very professional outfit, so they can seemingly hit that mark more often than not.
Yeah. Look, I still think 130. I reckon they'll defend this. They'll defend the 136 here.
I tend to agree. I think
From my point of view, I would actually love the Met to win.
that was actually going to be my next question. Ocean 12, I suppose the fact they've done it before.
They're so unpredictable, and for them to only hit 136 this game nearly guarantees you that they're hitting more than 136 next game. Like,
Exactly.
It's
If
not
there's a-
gonna,
They'll
But-
only narrow their focus. That one moved away there, easy wide there.
in saying that, they're probably going to need at least 200 to beat us.
That's the sort of stuff we've come to love from Lido.
Bullshit.
Nicely dabbed away. They're really keeping it very, very tight. Ment, I mean, their run rate's not bad, but with each over that goes for 4 or 5, it knocks the required rate up higher towards 7 plus.
I mean, this might. So, well, that's what I'm saying about the bowlers here.
Yep.
If the bowler can get you 2 dots and then you can find another one somewhere,
Yeah,
they're only 5 ball overs.
if you can manufacture a 3rd dot and over, that's
I mean,
very good
yeah.
going.
Well, he spun it both ways there. That
He
was,
is indeed. I noticed that before with the wide, it kicked away fiercely. A little jet arm in there, so another single. Just the one to come in the 4th over, 1 for 19 presently.
This might contradict what I said a little bit earlier, but like these guys here, they're probably
Bowling.
obviously wanting to whack with the wind a little bit later and chase that 7 and over if they can keep it to around the 6s. That's good running.
Yeah, that is good running. Kept the pressure on.
Good fielding. If the ball does get a bit too soft and they don't quite get it, especially if the pitch does start to stay low with the softer ball, it might actually be hard to get up and over and clear the ropes.
Yeah, fair point. I suppose with each delivery sent down, the pitch ages some.
Yeah. The ball gets softer.
The ball gets softer. And it is still a fair hit.
Yeah.
I suppose you want your best fielders out there, but we've seen many people clear it with ease, so I think that's just personal insecurity talking there. Can't remember the last time I hit a 6.
Well, there's a rumour. It was a rumour to me because I didn't see it, but apparently the shed over the clubhouse got hit yesterday. Or no, on day 1 or day 2.
That's serious hitting.
It's got to be 140. It has to be.
It's smacked.
So I'm hoping they're out of the tournament because I don't want to be bowling to anyone that can hit that far.
I don't even want to be commentating with someone who can hit that far.
Oh, that's great. Great innovation. Accidental innovation.
Well, it almost looked like a shot, and that'll scream away down to third man for 4. A whippy action. Suthakai is angling it in, and Gus Sloan squared him up, and it took the outside edge and just flew down to third man. Outfield's still very good.
I play my Saturday cricket here, and it's a lightning outfield.
It's a beautiful facility. It's always a pleasure to come here and even watch cricket played on this. Swinging it in.
Yeah, it depends who you're watching.
Indeed it does. So he's angling it in. He's got it too straight there, just onto leg. And Gus was able to walk across and just square one down towards mid-on for a single.
I wouldn't be walking across too often, especially not being at it as the 4th day.
No, that's right. You might get one that jags down low. You'll be plumb in front.
That's where second 11 are very good. They're all, well, the majority of them are all cricket players. They're all playing straight shots, getting their runs, and they run hard. They
certainly do. They certainly do run hard.
A waste of energy. So hopefully they're tired by this stage of the tournament. Our boys are only tired through lack of sleep.
Yeah, your boys not fond of getting the clean 8 hours a night, that's for sure. It's lovely bowling.
Beautiful shot.
Takes another edge. This will test the fielder.
Oh,
a bit of futsal there,
bit of Ronaldo.
He saves 2 runs, and no luck there for Suthakai. He's bowled very well this over. He's sort of coming from wider of the crease, angling it in. It looks like he's trying to sort of land just outside off and moving it in. That's the second edge he's taken here. He's a candidate for an LB.
Yeah.
So Tradie's ultimately feeling reasonably relaxed. You've been here before.
Yeah. We're
home ground.
It's actually good because Marty and I, probably after the first tournament that was around, because I think we're probably the only 2 teams that have been up and about to the top 16 consistently through the last 9 years. There's a fair bit of banter there. In the first couple of years, we didn't get along very well, mainly because Marty doesn't take banter very well. It's growing on him, but yeah, we've actually grown to be reasonable friends, and
indeed.
We do like to see each other succeed, but the other team lose, obviously.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Marty, a well-known, well-regarded figure in LMS circles as yourself is.
So yeah, we're both going for 3. Unfortunately, they're going to have to wait till next year, but we'll have our chance against whoever wins this one.
Very good.
This afternoon.
I'm liking it. That's 5 gone now, 1 for 31. So Ment
just over 6.
Yeah, just hanging in there. They only need 6.9 now, so neck and neck.
Yeah, another thing with the small total too. It's just frustrating. You just notice, like you'll just start getting nicks that get runs, and
absolutely
they find ways to score. Like
things can change very quickly when you got sort of a low 130s total, a couple of nicks for 4, or a bowler sprays a few wides. Suddenly, the rate's right down again. Good bowling, well punched. So Danny Batra moves to 18 off 14. Stayed busy, no boundaries yet, but not a hell of a lot of dots either. And Gus Sloan, 11 off 11. That squeeze through third man for 4 has certainly helped him a long way.
Yeah, we'll call it a squeeze, will we?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I had a freshly squeezed
that's a better shot. He's backed away there and whacked it through cover.
That's all the way for 4. Through cover. Textbook stuff. Just gave himself a little room, as you identified. And Donald Riedel.
You'll see the second 11 boys have just showed up. They're sitting on the sideline. I'm sure they'll be pretty happy for the Ment to go through this round too.
Indeed.
So might take a little bit of pressure.
And
We might actually have to call the next one the grand final if they go through.
nicely dabbed down to third man. Yeah, excellent fielding there. Screamed in, cut off the 2. Yeah, the second 11, I'd say, would be right with you in hoping that the Oceans go down here.
Which, could also be the downfall
Well, exactly.
of the two teams if we underestimate. No, not that we underestimate every team we play against, but it's only because we're really good.
That's awesome.
But, no, look, if
course.
we come out a bit soft in a grand final, anything can happen.
Absolutely, and with each team that enjoy the Ment knock-off, it's further proof that they're a serious contender here.
Yeah.
So that's 6 gone, 1 for 37. And interested to see if we do a bowling change here or not, or whether they go straight through. You rarely see that, especially when they take an early wickets.
Looks like he's going to get any.
Yep, looks like it. All right, we're going to see him through.
Got to roll the dice though. If they want to win this, they'll probably want him to bag 1 or 2.
I suppose you're right. It's no point holding him back until it's too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've got 8 blokes that can bowl.
Sure do.
8 blokes that can bat.
Yeah,
It's a well-rounded team.
it's the depth that you notice with these higher ranked teams. You think, oh well, we've got a few early ones, and then suddenly, no, it is a new bowler.
Yeah.
Dinesh Kumar, Chandrasekhar. That's smacked, and that all burst through for 4. Just a bit too much width there.
Still that slinging action though. It brings the ball from behind and very Malinga-like.
Arrows in nicely.
Very tense pause in the game.
Moves to around the wicket now.
Yeah, he's backed away again.
Yeah, he's starting to come right out of the middle now. So Gus moves to 21 off 15. Danny Batra 18 off 15. So they've recovered from that early wicket. The required rate and the current run rate almost identical now. Oh, that'll be
and there's
4.
that nick that we're talking about. Mate. It's so frustrating for a captain to,
Indeed.
with a small total, to be defending, and these guys are getting lucky runs like that.
Big moment that. So Dinesh Kumar, none for 9 off his first 3 balls. Pressure's right on him now.
Yeah, it's not what you want from your first change bowler after
No.
your 2 openers have been quite tight.
Very tight.
Oh, it's a bit more width.
Yeah, I think they've decided this is the man to target for the moment. Needs another dotty here just to give himself some confidence back.
If they can get the run rate to under 6 for the last 10 with the win, they should just breeze home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Punches down to long on. And that is 47 for 1 after 7. 10 from that one. Big over for Enjoy the Ment. Another bowling change now. Satish Siva.
This guy's very tall.
Very tall and limsy. Looks like he'll be bowling some meds.
Is the next game straight on after this, or is there a bit of a break between the games? We started at 11. I actually don't know what the time is.
I think it will be
another
pretty
4
much
to
straight
10
on.
there.
That's boundary. It's wonderful batting. So the change bowl is leaking a few here. And suddenly, 1 for 51 off 7.1. The required rate now 6.48. And the current run rate 7.08. So,
Met well in control here.
yeah, very much so. Wickets now.
Yeah, you would have thought with some early wickets there might have been a bit more pressure put through, but Well, we sprayed that down leg.
Down leg now. It's wide. Take a single as well.
All right, mate. Well, I'm going to go shoot off and get ready.
Very good, Lido. Play well, mate. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for your insights.
I'd love to help commentate in the final, but I'll be playing in it. So I'll speak to you later.
Good chat, mate.
Cheers,
Thank you
Dana.
very much, and play well. Now we welcome Alex Flatley to the comm box. And a bit of a change in momentum here, mate. What are your thoughts on Enjoy the Ment? Now 1 for 53, 7.1. Team, highly respected. Enjoy the Ment, just riding the slipstream. They won't be able to do this next year though. They'll be well known irrespective of what comes of this game.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Sathish in again, tied on off,
Yep.
punched out to cover.
Yeah, Danny Batra is an absolute gun down at the Sydney Leagues. He's got over 100 LMS 50s. He's played
Goodness
lots
me.
of cricket.
That is incredible. Moves to 30 off 21 now. His innings is really moving through the gears.
Yep. Gus line facing up.
Yep.
Going
There's
to-
some real intent in their approach now. This tournament anyway. Dinesh Kumar tightening his line a little now in his second. Staying round the wicket. Good ball. That's well hit though.
Great shot.
He's
Great
opened it up. Inside out through cover.
Four.
Into the fence. So Gus Sloan now moving through the gears. And all of a sudden he's 27 off 18. His strike rate up to 150. And pressure's really on here. 1 for 63 off 8.3.
His game's gone to another level. I remember, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, he came over with his own team and on the ball.
Nice shot, clipped away. Just a single out to square though.
Can't remember who the team was, but they had a couple of very good players in there, but you could just see with his ability, they could really play, but it just seems now he's improved to the point where he's playing in an LMS semi-final.
Oh,
so
that's right. Long levers too. Nice long languid stroke play. And it pings off the bat. Dinesh Kumar again. Nicely played. A little bit straight on onto leg stump there, allowing for a beautiful on drive. Danny Batra happy to oblige. 34 off 25 for him. 8 from that Dinesh Kumar over. And it's 1 for 65 off 9 at 7.22. Required rate 6.27. So they're on top, to be sure now. But as we've seen in many high-end games, there's always a few twists left in the tail as a general rule.
They need wickets. They need wickets. They need
Wickets
to stem
now,
the flow.
definitely. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah. It seems from the tournament so far, we've seen on the turf pitch that the scores have been a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But I mean, the ground's out on just down opposite, if you can see the next door at Runway Bay. We just got 2 pitches on the ground here and 3 up there on the top. And the outfield's just unbelievable. I mean, you just get a little bit of bow on it and just goes for 4. So we've had quite a few high scores down on synthetics. We're talking about maybe 170, 180 being a par score.
Absolutely. I'm grateful for the fact that outfield's quick.
Yep. Again, we thank the Runway Bay Crew Club staff for doing such a fantastic job each year.
Nice little whippy action.
Yeah, Gosselin just bunts it out to deep point for a single.
New bowler is Kartupan, left arm over the wicket. Nice whip action, keeping it tight into the batsman, not allowing them to open the shoulders too much on either side of the wicket thus far. Nice bowling, but nicely played there. Initially set off for 2, but good anticipation.
Yeah.
Got around to it nicely.
Enjoy the Ment don't need to do anything silly now. I think if
Yeah,
they just
spot
keep
on.
noodling it around, and you know, if a bad ball's there, of course hit it, but basically it's a risk-free game from here if they want to make it to the LMS
Absolutely.
final.
The nice bowling, but well played. This is
Well played. He's
starting to
coming,
really
he's
come
thinking
off.
about 2. He's thinking about 2.
That's all the way.
That's all the way.
Gus Sloan, 33 off 21 now. Just opened the blade on that, and he is hitting the ball beautifully. I remarked good ball, and it's gone all the way for 4.
Wasn't a bad ball, maybe a fraction short. That's probably why he had a bit of time just to lay back and just lace it through back off through deep point and third man. So
And suddenly, 1 ball to go in the 10th. They're in the 70s. Nicely played once again.
once more, thinking about 2. No, they're just going to set off the 1.
Settle for the 1. No need for any overt risks at this stage. So that's 10 gone now. 1 for 73. And now they'll change ends. They'll be hitting with the wind, needing just 61 off the next 10 to secure a finals position in this Oz Champs. Comparatively little known about Enjoy the Ment compared to the other 3 Titans in these semis. But that'll no longer be the case moving forth. Their name will be in bright neon lights now as a credible threat to any kind of side.
Spot on, Dano. We've got a massive game coming up straight after this as well. We've got the tradies you can't trust, and also the second 11. And
Absolutely.
both of those teams have won the Aussie Champs twice.
That's right. And with Oceans out there having won, we've got 5 pieces of silverware across the 4 teams competing for that final. And it looks like, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Enjoy the Ment might have a shot at some silverware themselves if it keeps going this way.
Touching wood on their part.
Indeed, I don't want to be responsible for any of that.
Yeah.
New bowler, Srinivasan, right arm over, angling in, but nicely played. As you said, they can really just stick to a very simple philosophy now of knocking it around and waiting for the bad one. 60 required from 49 balls is, by LMS standards anyway, not an overly daunting task.
But as in any final, whether you're playing LMS or on Saturdays, runs on the board, it's like money in the bank.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, there'll be a few twists left, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Bowling nicely clipped away down to fine leg. They'll definitely come back for 2.
Yeah, double up.
In fact, in the end, with the outfield being as good as it is, did well to cut off the boundary.
Yeah.
Again, a credit to the ground staff.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot about the standard of cricket going around the Aussie Champs. I remember 5 years ago, you know, it was quite tame, but nowadays you know, it's evolved to a point where the standard of cricket is just shot through the roof.
Mate, incredible. And you see it. You see it by the teams that didn't make it through the top 16. You know, the standard just continues to rise, and it's wonderful for the game.
Absolutely.
Nicely punched stroke there. Danny Bartra, that moves him to 40 of 29 now through the cover. Nicely bowled. Forces a little jab into the covers. Just a single.
Smart cricket.
Very smart. He's only hit 2 boundaries, but he's 41 of 30. Stayed very busy. Weathered the storm of the early wicket and some very tight bowling from the openers. And now there's 1 for 79 with 1 ball to go in the 11th.
Go slant facing. And he's going over mid-off. It's hanging. And safe catch. That's what they needed. Ocean's 12.
That is a big wicket, and that's exactly what we were saying. Did not need to happen from the Ment perspective.
Yeah, he's thrown it away there, unfortunately, but well bowled.
Very good bowling.
And Ocean's 12, do they still have a sniff?
I think now they do. Definitely. It's
Yeah.
a big wicket. Sloan was looking excellent. Out for 35 off 24. Caught by Siva Palan out there at cover. A wonderful innings. 5 boundaries. It really put the pressure right back on Ocean. But as we've seen many times with these boys, they're very able, and they can absorb pressure like almost no other. And that wicket couldn't have come at a better time. It's getting a little bit hairy there. We see Vivek stride to the crease. Bowled his little heart out this tournament. Can he do the business with the blade now?
Lots of responsibility now falling on Danny Batra.
Big time. He has to get into the shed, simply put.
Yep.
So the young legend Shree comes on, takes 1 for 6 off his first, and opens the game back up for his boys.
Mind you, they got Brad McGrath in the tank, in the dugout, so he's been around for LMS for a very, very long time.
And bowled supremely today.
Absolutely. Coming back.
Bowling. And suddenly, there's an extra spring in the step. The lines are tighter. Ocean 12 back to believing, I think. Lovely ball to Batra, who was more than up to the task, to be fair to him. In he comes again, just punching out. Again, they'll look to probably absorb the next few overs of pressure by just staying busy.
Well, again, they only need to go about 6 and over,
Exactly.
so it's fairly risk-free by LMS standards.
Exactly. They don't want to overcomplicate things in their mind.
Absolutely.
Vivek facing his first.
Keeps a little
It's
low
a little
there.
low. Nicely dabbed down to third man. It's been an effective stroke in this match.
Yeah, but there's gaps galore here. All you really got to do is just bat and ball and just rotate the strike.
Absolutely.
In LMS, people think, oh, you got to hit 4s and 6s all the time, but in a situation like this, you just got to play smart. And
Definitely.
it's usually the smarter players that are usually the best. You see a guy like Danny Batra, yes, he can hit a ball, but at the same time, he's just playing the situation.
Absolutely. He knows when to go and, more importantly, when not.
Standing in. Ooh. Bolt. So another dot there. And the end of the over. I think we got Puri onto bowl. Batra facing.
Nicely played. Came off the blade nicely. Well placed field out there. Just a single. And Shree keeping his lines nice and tight there.
Oh,
that's
it's
up.
gone
Vivek
high,
goes.
very high. There's a man underneath
He
it.
will
Will he
make it.
take it?
Oh.
Oh, he's dropped it. He's dropped it.
Big moment. Big moment.
Has he dropped the match?
Vivek can't help but feel that was a little bit rash. Got away with it.
Pressure catch as well. It was not easy.
No.
With the wind up here.
Booming into the air.
Probably hear it out, Mark. It is fairly windy down here, but usually always is down at the bay.
Wide
ball
call.
there. For those who've been following the LMS World Series, I've got Puri down here who played in the Aussie World Series. Great bowler and a great bat, but also a great guy to talk with as well. Oh, full toss. He's got away with
fielded out there.
Got away with it there. It's only just the one.
Excellent work in there. Need all the support from your fielders.
Equation now 48 from 37. Oh, that's hit well, but straight to the man at square leg, so only be one from Vivek.
Yeah, he's definitely hitting the ball all right. Good fielding there.
Right, you are. Danny Batra on 46. Can he make yet another LMS 50? He's already got over 100.
Goodness me.
Yeah, it's a lot of cricket.
Might be the biggest stage he's made one yet.
And well bowled before he's just tucked him up there.
So he concedes just 5 that over, I believe.
Yeah, scores 2 for 87 from 13 overs. We've got 7 more to go, and Enjoy the Ment need 47 to win.
Yep.
I think from here it's theirs to lose.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, it's only just under 7 and over.
We're looking required 6.71, current 6.69, so can't get much closer than that.
Mind you, Ocean's 12 in the past, especially at Aussie Champs, they have got out of some hairy situations. Oh, well bowled, right in the block hole there.
Yeah, he's getting his line tighter each time, Siva.
And Satish Siva coming in there, bowling that lovely Yorker just outside off. There's not much you can do with that.
I believe he's the highest ranked across this tournament so far for Ocean. You can see why with balls like that. That's a little too wide that time though. Don't want to give too many freebies to a man like Batra. 47 off 38 now.
Especially with the situation now as it is. So if anyone's new to LMS or not quite familiar with the rules, if you bowl a wide, it actually goes to the batsman's score. Same deal with no balls.
Well played. Nice and tight.
Batra's just, he's staying on nicely here. He understands the situation. He's just rotating the strike and just hitting the ball as he sees it.
I reckon he might know that he's getting pretty close as well, and how important that might be to retire.
Satish coming in.
Good bowling.
Well bowled.
Bowling that block hole area again.
Yeah, he's bowling the right channel too.
Dot
About
balls.
a foot outside off stump. Very, very full. Very hard to try drive on a really slow pitch like this. But again, if you bowl short, it's only asking to get hit, especially with the end that they're batting at, because
That's right.
with the wind. We'll bowl again.
Nicely played.
Yeah.
Definitely double
Might go
up.
to Vivek's going. He's got a bit of work to do on the fence, but he does well.
Does well to even make sure that it only stays at 2.
Yeah.
But 2 it is. Vivek moves to 6 off 7. Slowly building an innings here after a few hiccups. Siva will look to close this over out with a dot at least. He'd love a wicket, I'm sure. Score moving into the 90s now. Good bowling. But he squeezes it out, and that is a beautiful shot. Again, just cut it off from 4.
I think there's... Mind you, it throws on the arm.
Yeah,
Throws with the
decent
wind
arm.
there, so I think it might have been...
Does well to protect the timber. That was a great ball, and he squeezed it, and it absolutely bulleted off the blade there. Fielder did well to even cut off the boundary. So Vivek finishes that over with 2 to move to 8 off 8. Satish, none for 20 off 3. He's nearly burnt. And 2 for 94 off 14. So 40 runs needed off 30 balls. Enjoy the Ment nose in front, Alex.
Well, like I said before, it's theirs to lose. I think, well, they need to get Danny Batra retired just to make sure, if anything goes astray, that he's in the tank.
Yeah, he's got to
But
go one way or another here.
Yeah, but again, you've got Brad McGrath. I think might be coming in next if I can see their dugout. But he'd be definitely either 5 or 6. You got Short Lawrence as well. He can hold a stick. But it's interesting 15-20 minutes of cricket that we got here.
Yeah, definitely. That is wide. That'll be
Karthipan just bowling a bit too wide there. I think he needs to just get it in the block hole. Just make sure he doesn't go for too many here.
Yeah, I think I can understand what he's trying to do, which is sort of
No doubt.
anything on leg, but yeah, just getting it a little wrong there. Big Brad McGrath, he'll be looking to stamp his authority if he gets to the crease. Nicely played out there.
Yeah.
Fielder covers good ground, as we've seen all day with these high-end teams. They move well, they throw well.
Yeah, and Danny Batra's got 50.
And that is it. What an innings.
That's a great innings from Danny Batra.
41 baller, just steadied the ship after an early wicket, and not a lot of dotties in there.
He's just steadied the ship. He hasn't done anything rash in terms of his stroke play or his running. He's just made sure he set a foundation for the team, and hopefully the boys coming in now can just finish the job and get to the final.
Absolutely.
From their point of view, but you know, they might sniff an opportunity here, Oceans 12. I mean, 2 fresh batsmen at the crease.
Well, that's right. There's always an opportunity. Even if someone's retired, it still brings someone new to the crease, and therefore it changes things a little bit. New man to the crease is Danny Dent.
Oh, Peel for
Think
OW.
sliding down.
Yep. Oh, they're going to get 2 leg byes here. Yep. Good running.
Good running.
Really good running.
Leg byes indeed. Karthipan. Probably, yeah, just a little bit too far down leg for that one, and good running once again.
Yeah.
The outfield just beautiful. The ball skims away.
Yeah, I think it might be the wrong tactic here from Karthipan. I think he should come over the wicket just to make sure to get that angle across.
Yeah, push it
I think
across.
when he's bowling it into the pads, and you know, because the hit there is with the wind.
Absolutely, and it opens up a massive
Yes,
leg side
so-
with plenty of
So I
gaps.
just wonder if he's really thought this through. Like that.
There you go.
Like that. He's done. Tried to just do exactly that. He
Case
hasn't
in
got any
point.
of it, but he's managed to squeeze out a single to fine leg.
Yeah. It's certainly not bad bowling, but just with the format of LMS, 3 on that side, the large field, and with the wind, can't help but think that the batsmen have plenty of opportunities there, one way or another, be it a massive bomb or just a nurdle into the gap for 1 or even 2.
Yeah, or you only have to just bunt it on these fields because by LMS standards they're quite big.
Definitely. Kept low.
Oh, a little
Takes
low
the
there.
Bottom edge. Well kept. Saved at least 1 there. So he's niggling away. I mean, Carty, none for 11 off 1.4. He's certainly been tight.
I remember this time last year, Garthy comes into bowl. Oh, hitting the pad again.
Tight.
Oh, here we Chitzer right there. Is he out?
And he's got him.
gone. He's gone.
Wow.
Well, that was silly there. I mean, nerves might have crept in, but that's just poor cricket. Just
Yeah, you
run halfway down.
overcomplicated things
Yeah.
there.
At this stage, you don't want to run yourself out like that.
No. And that's the end of the over. Now 35 from 25. And
The plot thickens.
very much so. Kardipan moved well to get there, had to hit the stumps, and now it's Brad McGrath striding to the crease. Vivek is with him, 9 off 10, 35-25. It's getting back towards sort of 50-50 now. As Vivek hasn't quite settled and Brad's brand new to the crease.
If you're just tuning in now, we welcome all the viewers from around the world, wherever you may be. We have Oceans 12 versus Enjoy the Men in the first Australian Champ semi-final. Oceans 12 batted first. They were all out for 133. And now we're in the second half of the game.
Steaming in.
Enjoy the Men.
Very good.
Well, they need 35 to 24. So it's game on. Don't know.
Definitely game on here. Lovely dot ball. Just a couple of shout-outs here.
Yeah, Satish Seaver.
G'day to Danny Betts, Jed
think it's
McMahon,
Satish.
Glenn Kelly and Brownie.
Oh, it's
That's
gone
well
up.
hit.
It's
This could
gone
be a
up.
catch.
It's safe.
It's going to fall
It's
safe.
safe. There might be 2 here. No, I don't think Brad McGrath. He's
McGrath.
pretty content on staying with just 1. Probably a good move at the end of the day.
A man of my own heart. I'm sure he can hit, though.
Definitely, he's played a lot of LMS. He can hit a big ball.
Steaming in once again.
Well
This
bowled.
is great lines.
I'll tell you what, I think the momentum's here with Ocean 12. It's
Every
just
time-
started to click.
Every time a wicket falls, they seem to lift a peg or 2.
Yeah, they were just looking a bit flat there for a second, but
Striding in now.
yeah,
Here's
it's
Seaver.
just off the splice.
Yeah, Brad's away, but suddenly the required rate creeping. 7.86 now, and moving up and up. You don't want it to get much higher than 8. Remembering 5-ball overs. 8 and over is the equivalent of 9.6 in 6-ball cricket, and that's where it gets pretty spicy. Oh, wide.
Oh,
That'll
don't
take
want too many of those at this
some
stage.
pressure.
With the situation as tight as it is.
Indeed. That would have been his spell done for 22 from his 4, but instead up to 23 now with 1 to come. 32 required from 21 balls.
Yeah, you take that in LMS, 22 or 4. But you know, with the bowlers here, if you get just 1 for 20 as off your 4 overs as a bowler, you've done your job.
Absolutely, they're incredible figures.
Oh, what was that off? Was that off pad?
Tell
Pad?
there.
Looks like it might have been off pad. He's going quite slow. Or they're going to? Is he?
Important
No,
run.
safe.
It's
Oh,
buys.
buys.
So it got through one and everything there.
Interesting.
2 buys to finish. It won't soil Seaver's stats. He finishes with none for 23 or 4. But 2 to the total means 30 off 20. 7.5. I reckon flip a coin at this stage.
Yeah, they got a few bowlers there. I mean, Sathakas and Athapali, he's got over in the bank. Don Reddle got 1 in the bank.
Yeah, I'd
Bowls
be
a bit of
surprised
speed.
if we didn't see them finish out.
Yeah, I think pace off the ball on turf, especially in LMS, great option.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but pace on the ball without any control goes to the boundary, especially at this level of LMS.
Yeah, the batsmen are ready and waiting for that boundary ball. And we knew this might happen. Ocean 12, they're never going to give up without a fight.
Yeah.
Momentum has just shifted a little bit. We've seen a few new batsmen come and go.
Brad McGrath facing. Oh,
Down leg.
down leg again. Oh, he's going
Brad
to.
putting
He's
in
going
the
for
big
2.
yards. He's
Oh,
not coming
he's
back.
Not coming back.
It's worth him staying.
I'll take that at this stage, and the equation now for Enjoy the Ment gets to 29 of 19 balls. So, like I say, Dana, the run rate's just creeping up a little bit,
Yeah, every ball now.
but it's not panic stage for them just yet. If they can just maybe get a boundary or 2 away, I think that might
Boundary
calm
would
the
be
nerves.
big at the moment.
Ooh, well bowled by Carthy. Well
Sort of
bowled.
Each side daring the other to make a mistake at this stage. And at the moment,
Carthypan's
Ocean's
got
pushing hard.
bowled 2.2 overs, none for 11. He hasn't got any wickets, but he's bowled pretty
Very
tightly.
good. Under run of ball is fantastic at a time like this.
Oh,
Just
wide there. He
there.
just erred a little bit too wide of the off stump. So
Following the old Stuart Broad out there, just banging it on the line, just outside the marker this time, and therefore rightly penalised. 28-18 now.
we have Ryan O'Rourke and Shrikant Nandagam officiating in the finals.
Oh, well hit. That
Well
is
hit, well
belted.
hit.
That is
That's
all the
behind
way.
square and it's gone for 4. Great
Big
shot.
pressure release there. So Vivek, he was struggling, 12 off 16, just struggling a little bit to turn it around, but that boundary takes huge pressure off.
Yeah. Keep in mind, a lot of these boys usually play on the artificial pitch, on the synthetic. So see some of them play on turf, some of them just playing on turf for maybe the first time.
Absolutely.
So it is quite a big adjustment
It's
to
an
have.
adjustment for sure. Angling in.
Oh, he's going to peel.
I think that's off the bat, I heard.
Yeah, it sounded something woody. Where's the umpire
Let's
signal?
see. Yeah, he confirms as much.
Yeah,
So
off the bat, might be an inside edge.
Squeezed out to mid-wicket. Very good bowling, Kartipan.
Not the worst result. They got McGrath on strike, so
Yeah, 1 off 3 presently. 23 needed, 16 balls.
Here we go.
Steaming in.
Oh, flicks it.
Ticks it away.
Flicks it. They're
Will
going
they
to.
come back? Vivek
They're
running
going,
danger.
they're going
He's coming.
to. Throw coming in.
Good run.
He's home. Well run.
It's moments like that. All right, 3 overs left, 21 required, so 7 and over, and 9 from that one.
So what, just looking at Brad McGrath's stats, he's played 290 games of last man stands.
Goodness me.
That is a lot of cricket, and he scored just over 8,000 runs and taken 231 wickets.
Well, we saw today 3 for 10 off 3.4
Yeah.
in a game of this magnitude. Fantastic. He was swinging it in beautifully against the breeze. And that kind of experience, the 290 games, 8,000 runs, means that whilst he's only new to the crease, 3 or 4, he's been here and done it presumably plenty of times before.
21 or 15 now.
Tight, tight, tight.
Absolutely. I think there'll be a couple of boys a bit nervous in the dressing room now.
I'll bet. And the consensus between tradies and second 11 seems to be that they'd prefer to face Enjoy the Ment simply for the fact that they don't have the experience in the final. However, honestly,
I think the pundits might have got something wrong there. They've emerged as the dark horse.
yeah, they sure have. They kept moving through the ranks. They've had a wonderful tournament, irrespective of outcome here.
That's a wide ball. Yeah, that's a bit off the radar there.
So Shri, 1 for 12 off 2. He's done a good job. Sprayed that one a little. So 20 or 15 now.
I think those are starting to come in.
Indeed. I'm nervous.
Yeah, it's starting to flow with me too.
And a warm hello to Samuel John from the comm box here. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. It's been a fantastic game. And hope you're enjoying the cricket, mate.
Still got Danny Batcher in the tank, so they can go hard if they want to.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I think
squeezed out, just backward a point. You're going to double up here.
big man's
I
coming
think
back.
that's-
He'll
that's
make
all,
it
Yeah, that's all I'll get, just the 2.
important.
I'll tell you what, I think advantage now, just swinging the way of Enjoy the Ment.
I would think so. 17 off 13. That gap actually decreasing just by 1. That with that 2. Shri in.
They come.
Well
Oh,
played.
yeah.
That'll be just 1 down there. Just a slashing stroke. Fielder well placed. Shri 1 for 16 off 2.3. Made a spicy looking 23. He's had a good game. He'll be disappointed he got out when he did though. It unravelled some momentum. Chance to be a hero here now. Good bowling.
Oh, well bowled.
Again, forcing them to squeeze down to third man.
Probably not a bad result for either way, really.
I suppose so. Both teams, you know, this is on a
15
knife's
off
edge
11.
now. 15 off 11. 1 to come for Shri.
Just say advantage, just swung the way of Enjoy the Ment at the moment. Oh,
that's
wow,
well hit.
that's a
Out
good
to
shot,
the
but
man,
straight
though.
to the fielder. Bit of
Yeah.
a fumble, but
That's
that's
a
only
good
going to be 1.
sign for Ment, as that's Brad McGrath finding an extra gear there that flew off the blade. Fielder ice cold out there, did it easy. Okay, 14 off 10, so
We know the thing they say about diamonds, mate, they're made under pressure.
very nice.
14 off 10 now, it's getting tight. They've just been keeping up with the rate now. Enjoy the Ment. But you feel this one could just go either way. Could we see a super over? Let's not rule that out.
Well,
There's a tie.
it would not surprise me at all at this stage.
We have had a couple upsets. I mean, we've seen the Rock Lobsters yesterday, the champions from 2017, and arguably maybe one of the most consistent sides in the past few years of the Aussie champs. And unfortunately, didn't quite make it over the line yesterday.
A Josh Brown wicket maiden from the bomb squad saw end to their tournament. Everyone has much respect for the Lobsters, though. They might be a little disappointed, but they're still a class outfit, and it takes a hell of a lot to knock them out.
Absolutely.
we go again. That'll be wide down leg side. That extra run will put a squeeze on Ocean here.
Well, that's a valuable 2 runs.
Massive, because it stays at 9 balls to go. Target down to 11 now. Ment have to hold their cool, and they'll probably get home. Angling in.
Hold on.
B-Mac just punching to long on. Running with urgency just in case. But
I think the fielders out there will be feeling a little bit dicey now.
absolutely. They're the right men to be out there, but goodness me, some real pressure. Angling in again.
Oh,
Well hit. The bowler
Oh, it
just
might be
out of his
too
reach.
no.
B-Mac, no chance. Fielder moving well there. The anticipation has been excellent all tournament. So 2 to go in this over, 9 off 7. 2 dots, and it's back to even. A boundary could be everything. Dot. There's one of them. This game swinging back
I'm
and
feeling
forth.
nervous.
I genuinely have no idea who's going to win this.
Yeah,
It's got me thinking about that super over now. Angling in. One more in the over. B-Mac. I can't see him getting back for 2 here.
They're
Fielder
going to
moves
go. They're
well.
going to go.
They're going.
Oh, they're going to make it
On
easy.
the wrong end.
Making it
2
easy.
it is. So that is over. 7 from 5.
Oh, I can't watch.
It's been hovering at 7 and over required for a long time now. And neither side giving an inch. And now, traditionally you'd say enjoy the Ment, but I mean, 7 seems a long way at the moment.
Cricket's a funny game. Will they maybe bring a fielder up? Is it maybe an idea to bring one of the fielders up? Maybe cover, maybe mid-off.
Well, it must be tempting. I mean, it could be the difference. But
Yeah, it's such a hard situation given the context of things. I mean, you got a final on the line.
goodness me.
I can't watch.
Nice cool breeze here, but I'm starting to sweat bullets. This is nerve-wracking stuff.
It's quite humid here today at the Bay as well in Queensland. Usually always is humid here, but yeah, the players after 3 days of cricket, they're going to start feeling the pinch now.
Well, that's right. They've played plenty of games each.
Well, they're going to. Has he saved the boundary? Oh, it looks like he has. Oh, he's going back to 3. He's going back to 3.
This is big. This is big.
Oh, well run.
Wow.
Well run. Only 4 from 4 now.
Goodness me. That's a massive moment.
Yeah, you just feel here, enjoy the Ment. Don't want to say it too soon, but
a 3. I mean, they definitely won that ball.
absolutely.
That's
Oh,
hit
good
well.
shot. That good shot there. I think it might be just 1.
Oh.
Yeah. 3 from 3 here. It's getting tight. The match can still go either way. Winter, what do the viewers at home think?
Yeah, good question. In again.
Oh, is Peel for LB
Going
there?
down
Oh,
leg.
it's
The beam man.
looked a little bit down leg. It's
A
2
single.
from 2. I'll tell you what, this game could go either way at the moment, but I think this ball here will just, it's crucial. These next 2 balls can make or break either side.
A dot here means 2 off 1. 2 off 1 is no mean feat.
High pressure.
Do you bring the field in if it's 2 off 1?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that, yeah, for enjoy them, if they at least get 1 now, it's a sniff. Either way.
In.
Oh, it's a
it's a
wide.
wide.
All right. So scores are now level.
Level.
So Ocean's 12, I think might be.
That could be.
I think the field's going to come up now.
Could be it for them.
The only way they can get through now is say dot the next 2 balls, and hope that they go all right in the super over. But
yeah, it's going to have to be that, or it's curtains.
Yeah, I think they got the right man at the crease here to take him home. Brad McGrath, he's been to a few Aussie champs, but not quite as far as this. So
Field in now. This is.
Yeah, so they're using their power play as well. They got 4 from the offside with short cover. It's not a bad option actually.
Nate Chu
Coming in.
Shot.
And he's
Oh,
got
it's
it
all the way.
away.
That'll be 4 and game. Enjoy the men.
Enjoy the men. They're
Fell-
through to the final
felling
of the
another
LMS
giant
Aussie
there.
champs. Well done, Brad McGrath. You're a star.
Yep, kept it cold.
Yep.
And that's another scalp for Enjoy the Men. Remember the name.
But what a game of cricket. What
Great
a game
game.
of cricket, Dano. I mean,
Down to the last ball and everything.
yeah.
BM finishes 16 not out of 14. Did a great job. Vivek 26 not out of 25. Sorry. They put him down early. Could that have been a moment? Almost certainly.
Yeah, well, the games get this tight. Anything and everything matters. But at the end of the day, Enjoy the Ment were the better team. So well done, Enjoy the Ment.
They won the big moments. Fantastic. And once again, wonderful tournament for Ocean 12. They're out now, but wonderful cricketers, wonderful men, and great ambassadors for the game. They can hold their heads high. Another wonderful performance from those boys. They're always there and thereabouts, and they're a wonderful side.
Yeah, Ocean's 12 just bought a couple too many wides just at the end there. I think, you know, in such a tight situation, it always adds up. But yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, maybe just a couple short with the bat.
A couple short. They lost the wickets in clumps in the back end of their innings, and therefore it sort of stymied the total from. Well, Pete and I were talking earlier, 150, maybe even 160 to low 130s, and that matters. I think we're going to have a short break here. So thanks for tuning in, and we've got another absolute belter coming up next. Tradies You Can't Trust versus Marty Henderson's second 11. That's another coin flip match, so we'll see you again shortly. So what was the sound issue with the mic thing? Thanks for the drinks, Pete. Getting a bit parched.
We make a good team on the Plumber.
The only thing I noticed was when we were sitting in the wind picked up.
Yeah, it's just like blowing in the mic.
So I was trying to cover the
Yeah, I saw you doing that.
I mean, I see it
And then I didn't have the dexterity because I kept bumping it.
I see it like this.